What's up, tribe? How are you all doing? Hope you're having a beautiful day. YAJE here, and today I would like to share with you two things. Give you an update on the garden huckleberry that I am experimenting with this fall, and then also talk about some diseases and pests that can affect the African garden huckleberry. To show you how the vegetables are doing 3 weeks in. You might remember that I nursed them September the 28th and today is October the 22nd, so it's been about 3 weeks since they germinated. But first I wanted to address some of the pests, diseases that might affect this vegetable. Actually, where I come from, if you have the njama, that's how we call these locally. If you have the njama without any holes in them, actually people would not want to touch that kind of njama because it means that it has been heavily sprayed with insecticides to the point where even bugs don't want to eat it. Possible pests that can be a problem. First of all, ants. Yes, you can have ant problems, and you would know if you have holes in your njama, then you know you have ant issues in the garden. The other thing that I have experienced is aphids. Aphids can attack your country njama, and if you look under the leaves, you would find those little black, bugs, the aphids there, and then the leaves will tend to curl up. That's how you know you have an aphids problem. First, you can actually see them, and then second, the leaves will bunch up and curl up like that. And then the third kind of pest that I have notice in my garden with the country njama are snails. Snails can eat the leaves as well, and you would know you have snail problems when you see, you look around the edge and you see that something is actually eating on the leaves like that. That's how you know you have snail issues in the garden. So now let's talk about the solutions to the possible pest problems. What I used to see my parents or my mother do, and people back home in Africa do, was use wood ash. We cooked with firewood in the kitchen, and they would take wood ash and just sprinkle on the leaves of these vegetables, and that helped. You can also choose to use chemical pesticides, not recommended, but that's an option. Sevin, SEVIN, will deal with some of the aphids and the ants, but it's a chemical, so it's an option, not something I would recommend, but it's an option. Now let's talk about the disease. I have noticed disease just once. I think that was back in 2018 or 2019, I want to say. I mean, my njamsu, the country njama was doing fine, and then all of a sudden it just turned like white, and then the leaves began to turn brown after that and then fall off. I just got so mad and I uprooted everything. I think it's a viral or fungal infection, I'm not sure, but it can attack your country njama. Again, I have experienced it once. What I have seen that you can do is to practice crop rotation. If you tend to have this problem, practice crop rotation, which is difficult to do when you're doing backyard gardening, intensive gardening in a small space. Today is October the 22nd. It's been about 3 weeks since I nursed my country njama or njamsu, or the garden huckleberry. Just sharing with you updates. See how much it has grown. Last week it was not like this. So now we have a couple of true leaves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is ready for transplant. This is ready for transplant. You transplant when it has about 5 true leaves. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I could transplant the garden huckleberry at this point. Probably my weekend gardening job would be to transplant selectively, pull out the big ones with big stems, and then figure out where to put them. 3 weeks, I will continue to share the journey with you.